Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'll be teaching you how to use Create Enchantment Industry in the newest NeoForge 1.21.1 version. So without further ado, let's get started. If you don't know what Create Enchantment Industry is, it is an add-on for the Create mod. It adds the ability for you to store liquid experience as well as utilize Create within your enchanting process. The first one we'll go through is this brand new Grindstone, which is here the mechanical Grindstone. It can be crafted using 8 andesite alloy as well as a shaft. The way you set it up is that you can either have a belt or you can simply just throw the item in between these two grindstones here, and it'll work just like a vanilla grindstone where you can disenchant items. So here I have an iron sword with sharpness 1. If I simply drop it onto here, it'll get grinded up, it'll become a normal iron sword, and a tiny little bit of experience will be extracted out from that. When setting up this grindstone, you must make sure that they go in opposite directions. And if you look over at this setup here, you'll see that one side will require your rotational power, and the other side will be the exit for the extracted experience. A very good way of powering this entire setup I found is that by using a large cogwheel on the belt, then I can have a diagonal small cogwheel to power the top grindstone, and then another large cogwheel to continue the power on along the belt line. Then in between we can have our pipe that pipes out all the experience, and on the other side we have two small cogwheels to power the bottom grindstone as well. Other than disenchanting items, it can also help you extract nugget of experience. If you throw some nugget of experience here, you'll see a lot of experience will be stored out. The final use of the grindstone is to use it as a sandpaper. You can simply throw rose quartz and it'll become automatically polished without you having to get extra sandpaper. Moving on, the next item is the fluid hatch. Now this item is not strictly by Create Enchantment Industry, but a dependency, which is Create Dragons Plus, and you must have this also installed in order for Create Enchantment Industry to work. And in here is the fluid hatch. The fluid hatch works very similar to the Create item hatch, where it allows you to store liquid instead of items. Here I have a bucket and some water bucket. All you need to do is, when you have a filled bucket, just right click on the item hatch and the water will go inside. And when you want to take out liquid, just use a bucket instead and you'll take water out. The next hatch is the experience hatch. This is the actual Create Enchantment Industry special hatch, which allows you to store experience. So here I've got some nugget of experience. If I turn to survival mode, I can right click to obtain 11 levels of experience. Now I can simply just right click and all the experience will go inside, and in order to extract the experience, I can shift, right click, and I'll take out all that experience once again. One thing you can do is set a filter here where you can select how many points of experience you want to put in at a time. So for example, I set it to 30, so it'll put in 30 points of experience. The points is a little bit different to levels, so keep that in mind. The next item is the Experience Lantern. This lantern can absorb experience. So in here I've got some bottles of enchanting. If I just splash myself with a bit of experience, then I walk close to this lantern. The lantern will extract the experience from me into a fluid tank because of these pipes here. The lanterns can also be placed on a contraption. if I fly up, and I can just throw a little bit of experience, it'll be absorbed by these lanterns, and it'll be stored in a fluid tank that is also on this contraption. The only downside to this lantern is that the range of it absorbing experience is quite small, only about a 1 block radius range. So you need to get quite close to it in order for it to work. Now, as the name suggests, it is an experience lantern. So it is an actual lantern that can light up. So if I come inside here, I can close this place off, and I got some experience. If I simply take in all this experience, it will slowly gain experience in the lantern. And if I use F3 here, you can see that it is now of a light level of 15 when it is fully lit up by an entire bucket of experience. Moving on, we next have the printer. The printer can be used to duplicate books, both written or enchanted books. So for the first setup here, I have a protection 4 book as well as just normal books. For this to work, you'll need to first in the filter put in your selected enchanted book, and then following it you need to have experience pumping into this printer. And from now on you can just put in books and it'll be automatically printed with another protection 4, so you can duplicate enchantments simply by using some experience. When you need to duplicate written books, you want to have a book such as this like and subscribe book here, as well as some normal books. They need to be signed for this to work. For the duplication of written books, you need to use black dye. Now, this is also another item that comes from the required dependency of Dragons Plus. There will be quite a lot of different buckets of dyes, but when you need to duplicate book, the only one that works is the black dye. Any other colored dye will not work, so keep that in mind. Once again, you need to put in the filter with your book, and then all you need to do is just throw on books and it will be printed. And now is the fun part, which is your Blaze Enchanter and Blaze Forger. First things first, how you get this Blaze Enchanter. To get the Blaze Enchanter, you'll need a Blaze Burner, an enchantment table, and another item from Dragons Plus, which is the Blaze Smithing template. To get this Blaze Smithing template, you'll need to find it using chests in the Nether. For example, you can find them in the Fortress as well as the Bastion. The way you duplicate it is by using 7 Blaze Rod and a Netherrack, and that will help you duplicate into 2 more templates. So the way you craft it is by taking these 3 items, going to a smithing table, and can insert all the items in, and you'll get yourself a Blaze Enchanter. The way the Blaze Enchanter works is you need to be pumping experience into this block. On this block, you will also see a filter kind of thing, where you can select the level of enchanting. And this, you can make this very specific, so it is very versatile. To use it, you just get an item, set the level you want, and place your item on, right click the item on the enchanter, and it'll work automatically. You can also automate this using a mechanical arm. And just like that, my sword has been enchanted with Bane of Arthropods 5. Absolutely trash. So anyway, moving on, it also works with all the other stuff. And one of the newer, more interesting thing is the enchanting template. It works basically like enchanting a book using an enchanting station, but you can be a lot more specific. Now, in order to obtain this item, you'll first need to get block of experience, which you can craft by using 9 nuggets of experience, and by getting this block here, you can put it on a depot, and by having a press, you'll press it into a template. The way you use the template with the Blaze Enchanter is you first want to get an item, then a template. When you have the item, you want to right click the item on this filter slot here. When you right click it, you'll see the item be displayed on top of the number. Once this is complete, you can place in your enchanting template and the Blaze Enchanter will enchant it. Keep in mind that if you do not have a set item filter on here, this will not work and will simply sit there and not enchant your enchanting template. So from that, we got efficiency 4 on our enchanting template. According to the mod, it says that if you use a gold tier of the item, it will likely have a better enchantment. But from my experience and my testing, it has not been significant enough for me to notice. So, you can try it out, but I don't think it really works. I don't think it really does all that much. And that is basically all of Blaze Enchanter. Moving on, we have the Blaze Forger. To get it, you once again need a Blaze Burner and the Blaze Smithing template, but this time you want an anvil instead of an enchantment table. You once again make it using a smithing table, just like so, and you get yourself a Blaze Forger. To use the Blaze Forger, you once again need to make sure you have experience pumping into the Blaze Forger. There's a couple of ways of using it, so let's go through them right now. The first usage is to combine 2 damaged enchanted item. So for example here, I have a iron sword with unbreaking 2 that only has 70 durability left, and on the right here I have a sharpness 2 iron sword with a durability of 110. If you use this in a normal anvil, then it'll cost a bit more experience just because of the repair cost. But by using a Blaze Forger, you can reduce the usage of experience. If I just put these 2 swords here, the Blaze Forger will help me repair them as well as combining the enchantments in the sword. And just like that, I now have a sword with sharpness 2 and unbreaking 2 and a durability of 210. The next way of using the Blaze Forger is to combine 2 enchanting templates. Once again, you just not throw it out, but you right click the both of the enchanting template on the Blaze Forger, and then it'll just use a little bit of experience to combine the 2 enchanting template, and now you have an enchanting template with the 2 enchantments combined together. Then you have the obvious of applying an enchanting template to an item. So once again, put a item and the enchanting template on a Blaze Forger, and it'll help you combine it. And finally, which is one that I think is quite useful, is for example, I have a gold sword with sharpness 4 and looting 3. The special thing about this is that a Blaze Forger can extract the enchantments out. So even if you find a very bad sword in dungeon chests, but it has a pretty good enchantment, you can actually extract that enchantment out from the sword. The way you do that is first place your sword onto the Blaze Forger, then give an empty enchanting template to the Blaze Forger, and just wait a little bit, and the enchantment will be one enchantment will be extracted from the sword to the enchanting template. So just like that, you can see here looting free is now extracted from the sword. So it does it one at a time, so if I want to extract the other one as well, I just put them on, and after this, the enchanting template will have sharpness 4 and the gold sword will become unenchanted once again. Just like that. That will do it for part 1 of this guide. In the next video, I'll be teaching you how to use Create Enchantment Industry with all the super enchanting stuff. So stay tuned for that. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to like and subscribe, as it really helps me out a ton. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments. And with that said, I'll see you in part 2. Bye bye now.